Ryūei-ryu is an Okinawan style of karate. It was originally a family style of the Nakaima family of Naha and is now one of the internationally recognized Okinawan karate styles. It is practiced in the United States, Argentina, Venezuela, Europe, and Okinawa. History. The originator of the Ryūei-ryu method was the Okinawan Nakaima Norisato. Born December 1819 into a considerably wealthy family, he developed a passion for the martial arts at a young age, and was known throughout the village of Kumemura as a devoted practitioner of the cultural as well as combative arts. The area called Kume in Naha was settled by Chinese from Fujian, China about 600 years ago. Being born and brought up in the area under deep influence from China for a long time, Norisato was very familiar with Chinese cultural ways and could speak and communicate freely in at least one dialect of the language. It is known that the last Satsu Fushi were sent to Okinawa in 1866. In 503 years, about the same number of military officers as ambassadors were sent to Ryūei-ryu. Reportedly, when Norisato was 18 years old, he heard that the military officers were practicing martial arts every day and visited the practice area. Since no formal dojo existed during this period, Norisato, interested in martial arts, was watching the practice over the fence. Then one of the officers noticed Norisato, and the Uchi eventually noticed the potential and talent of the young Norisato. With the help of a Chinese military envoy to Okinawa who provided the appropriate letter of introduction and 1 year of preparation, Norisato left his native Okinawa for China to study the martial arts. At the age of 19, the tall, well-built Norisato was accepted as a disciple of the Chinese master Ryūei-ryu, who at the time was the lead instructor at the military academy in Beijing. Alongside Norisato was good friend Sakayama Kitoku, who also left Okinawa to study in China, but reportedly returned to the island after a comparatively short time and was not admitted to the same training. Norisato originally intended to learn Chinese martial arts as a method of personal protection. He became heavily influenced by his teacher, gradually studying deeply the military subjects required for Chinese military officers. Subjects ranged from complex military strategies to astrology and holistic healing methods, which are still preserved within the system today. After 7 years of diligent study under the master, Norisato graduated and was awarded his master's teaching degree at, or around the age of 26. At this time he was given some secret books. As customary in China, his instructor only trusted his most dedicated pupil with these guarded texts. Contained in these books was a wealth of information on the civil combative traditions of China. Some of these books were entitled Bubishi, Hironshi, Kokutsuki, Kanyoshin, and Yojo-ho, and are only recently being discovered and appreciated by many of the older and more advanced practitioners of the fighting arts of China and Okinawa throughout the world today. Before he returned to his homeland, Norisato traveled for training purposes throughout the Fujian, Canton and Beijing areas of China. There he saw many unique methods of training and embraced many teachings. Additionally, he collected many weapons from the various areas he visited and incorporated them into his personal system of Chinese boxing. Before leaving China, the customary vow of secrecy was taken by Norisato, who, realizing the tense political climate of the day, never broke this solemn oath. The system that Nakaima Norisato devised and learned was taught only to his son Nakaima Noritada. but only after making a pledge of secrecy to maintain the great tradition to which he now belonged. Noritaka, keeping this oath, only taught his own son Nakaima Noritaka and her children, who also took the family oath of secrecy. While Noritaka had no other students, he was regarded as a master of martial arts by all his contemporaries and was respected by all who knew him. Nakaima The young Nakaima Noritaka also developed a keen interest in Budo, studying other karate and kobudo styles as well as kendo under popular instructors. Then, at the age of 60, Nakaima Noritaka broke the family tradition. Fearing the family art would be lost, he accepted a small group of outside students. These students were all school teachers who Noritaka felt possessed the necessary character, education and background to continue the teachings in the proper manner. Noritaka did much to assist with the development of many of today's leaders throughout Okinawa and Japan. According to numerous senior instructors of various styles that were well acquainted with Nakaima Noritaka, Noritaka taught very little Ryūei-ryu to children other than his own sons. He did not own a dojo himself but did often share the training hall of Nakamura Shigeru and others. Noritaka was well respected in his region and helped with the organization of the Okinawa Kenpo School and others. Being a professional educator and of a higher social status than many of his contemporaries, Noritaka held strong convictions regarding the responsibilities of teacher and student. This unique background and uncompromising standard set Noritaka apart from the many islanders who sought the development of martial arts for financial gain in the wake of the Second World War. Nakaima Noritaka was a well-respected leader in the Okinawan martial arts community and was a key figure in the growth of several organized movements of the late 1950s through the 1960s. He remained an important figure in the development of martial arts on Okinawa until his death in 1989. The current leader of the system is Nakaima Kenji, the fifth-generation soke of the family art and a well-accomplished martial arts master in his own right, respected throughout Japan. Kata. Among the kata of Ryūei-ryu of the following karate Isu kata: Sanchin, Nizishi, Sansei Rui, Sanchin, Saisen, Bachu, Tensho, Kururunfa, Superimpe, Oin, Haiku, Paiku, Paiho 11, Paiho 22, Anan 1, Anan 2. Influences. Uruko was the teacher of Nakaima Norisato, and a main personal bodyguard to the Chinese emperor during the Qing dynasty.